guys, DMT Gov here, and today I will be bringing you a video on the NBA free agency 2014. Day 10 was certainly a huge one, and we're going to start off talking about the man of the hour, LeBron James, who decides to come home and play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Of course, with that essay from Sports Illustrated, definitely a better way to join a new team rather than the decision that he had in 2010, saying it and admitting it on TV in front of all those fans. And that was definitely a better way, more professional. I feel like LeBron has really grown up since then, and a very mature way to send himself back to his hometown. And now what I think does for the franchise is that you got Andrew Wiggins, Kyrie Irving, and of course LeBron James in the middle, and you have so many young, good pieces to work with. Wiggins is of course a tad raw, you got to think, entering his rookie year, but he's going to make some noise, I believe, and the Cavs are definitely going to have a chance to win that title, and especially win the Eastern Conference. And my predictions for next year, I think the Cavs are looking at around a second in the Eastern Conference, if not first, around that range, because they still got to get around these teams, such as the Chicago Bulls, who are looking at Carmelo Anthony as one of their potential targets, and that could be big for the Eastern Conference, still keeping the superstar talent in the East for this free agency. As with LeBron James, I think really just he went to Miami to chase rings, and that's what he did. He gave Pat Riley 2 rings in 4 years, and that's not something to complain about if you're a basketball fan. 2 rings in this era in 4 years are so hard to come by, and saying that the Heat have done it, and although LeBron left the team, I think Miami Heat fans should thank LeBron for his time in Miami. And personally, I think it was more of a rental. I mean, we figured sooner or later he would come back to Cleveland, right? I didn't think he would finish his career with Miami because things were really getting a little bit stale, a little bit old, it seemed. Dwyane Wade really age is catching up to him, and Chris Bosh isn't the same player that he was when he broke out in his prime with the Toronto Raptors. LeBron James is basically the glue that kept the team together and got them to 4 straight finals appearances. And when they lost against the Spurs in 5 games, I think that was really the killing point of the team. I didn't think LeBron was going to come back. Cleveland was definitely an option, maybe other options such as LA or Houston even, forming an even better super team. But that hasn't happened. LeBron, great pick for the Cavs. I'm so happy because the Cavs fan base has so much more to cheer about right now. I mean, the last 4 years without LeBron, they've been kind of muddy. Really nothing happening for the franchise, not making noise in the playoffs, really just getting Kyrie Irving, and that's pretty much it, just trying to build around him. But now that they have LeBron James, I hope for the city of Cleveland that he can bring them what he promised in his first stint with the Cavs, and that's a championship. And I think that'll happen, but not this year. Vegas has predicted, of course, that the Cavs are going to win it 4-1 odds right next to the San Antonio Spurs. But I think it's going to be a long shot for them to get back, especially with the young core that the team is comprised of, with LeBron pretty much being the old head, as he said in his essay on Sports Illustrated when he informed that he would go back to the Cavaliers. As LeBron said, he would be the old head, the veteran, and he's going to be the glue holding down this unit once more. If Wiggins can really develop in Kyrie, then they can stand alone. But right now, LeBron is pretty much the Cavaliers' training wheels to get them back to that illustrious spot in the NBA Finals, and it's definitely a hard road to climb. Even in the Eastern Conference, everyone says it's so much weaker than the West, but you're playing against the best athletes in the world if you think about it. And I think LeBron is going to have to play the waiting game. He said that in his essay, that he's going to have to be patient as much as he's ever been in his whole career. And yes, I think that is true, because back in his rookie year, yes, they weren't that great. They didn't make the playoffs automatically with LeBron, but LeBron was a rookie, and now he's in the prime of his career, now nearing the tail end of his prime. And I really hope for LeBron and the Cavs that he can get them back to the final. Also, let's shift our focus over to the Houston Rockets, who traded Jeremy Lin and a first-round pick to the Lakers for cash and considerations. I think they got someone from overseas, some European dude. Yeah, forget about that. They basically gave up Lin as he were a minus to their team because of the salary that is on him. But so by doing that, they made sure the Lakers would accept the deal and give them a first-round pick, and going all out for Chris Bosh and try to be able to retain Parsons and Bosh, and look where that turned out. Chris Bosh also has returned to Miami. 5-year, $118 million. He still gets that max deal, which he wouldn't have if LeBron stayed and grabbed the max deal that the Heat only have room for one player to take that contract. But now the Heat, with their face of the franchise, is definitely Chris Bosh. I mean, Dwyane Wade, yes, the legacy is there. He's been in Miami for such a long time, but I think Dwyane Wade's career is pretty much on the outside looking in. Doesn't have that much left in him, and I think that Bosh is definitely the face of the franchise right now for the Heat. They can get into the playoffs, I believe, if they re-sign Wade and just get more pieces in their bench unit, but that's going to be tough, especially since they signed Bosh to that huge deal. And let's go back to Houston, as it looks like they're going to match Dallas's offer for Chandler Parsons, which I think is definitely overpaid. 4 years, $63 million, about, I believe. And I don't think that's right, because Chandler Parsons, yes, he's a great player. Put him in the mix, and he can knock down some shots, play some okay defense. But he's a rotational player. He's not your superstar type. He's more of a he's the best. Let's just think of this. He's the best sixth man in the NBA if he were, but he is not, and he is getting paid almost maximum money, which is, to me, is too much for Chandler Parsons. But it looks like the Rockets are going to match his offer unless they decide to go in a new direction, seeing that they have not grabbed Bosh, as Bosh declined that deal for 4 years and $88 million. So they still have some decent cap room since they traded away Ashik and Lin, two solid rotational players, but their contracts were just too much for them to keep around. Let's shift our focus to Carmelo Anthony. Well, I thought he might have been a Laker. I thought there was a chance for Carmelo to be a Laker, but he has narrowed it down to the Knicks and the Bulls. I saw that in the morning when I was looking at Bleacher Report. Lakers are definitely out of the picture, especially since they already signed Jeremy Lin, and I will talk about their other signings later in this video. So Carmelo Anthony, Knicks or Bulls? The better decision for him, chasing titles, which is what he needs to complete his legacy as being one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, he's by no means the greatest player of all time. I'm just saying he deserves a ring for the caliber for his talent. I think Melo deserves a ring and should sign with Chicago if he wants to win a championship. I mean, the money is definitely not there. 4 years, $75 million. That's pretty much nothing for a player of his caliber, but if you think about it, New York, you're not in a good situation. I mean, although you get a bunch of money at 5 years, $129 million, you're basically choosing between money and championships, and if I were an NBA player, championships obviously come first. I mean, he's already got a lot of money. He's earned a lot in his career. So I think he needs to man up and just sign that deal with the Bulls and get them back in contention with Derrick Rose coming back. That's one scary lineup because you got the defense and the offense. Think about that. Derrick Rose at the 1, Jimmy Butler possibly at the 2, Melo at the 3, of course, and Carlos Boozer. They're probably going to need to get him free if they want to sign him to an even bigger deal, which would be a great idea for the Bulls. Then they could get Melo around with the Lakers, or not what the Lakers were offering, but 4 years, $88 million around the Chris Bosh deal. I think that would be good for Melo, and I think that would just sweeten up for $13 million more than the existing pitch. I think it would be a good idea for him to resign, but right now I think it's a great idea. I mean, you got Joakim Noah at the center, the reigning defensive player of the year, and Taj Gibson, very underrated. He can knock down shots in the post and play some incredible defense, which is what the Bulls are based on. But now if they get Rose and Melo, that's one scary team to look at. And let's shift back to LeBron James, who's trying to recruit players, recruit veterans from the Miami Heat squad to come back to Cleveland and play with him and try to get him a title, maybe even in his first or second year, but I would say first because, I mean, these guys are old vets. Let's say Ray Allen is really in a strong relationship with him over the years, especially winning one championship with him, I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Mike Miller, an excellent shooter, two great shooters. Even James Jones is a possibility. So we went through all that, and let's see if the Rockets still have another chance at a player of the caliber. Well, not at the caliber, not exactly of Chandler Parsons, but Deng, Ariza, and Stevenson are three reliable options you can put at either the 2 or the 3. Stevenson is more of a combo guard in my eyes, but he can still play some 3 and is a great defensive player on the wing, as well as Luol Deng and Trevor Ariza. 3 excellent choices for the Rockets, and they have room. Okay, so now LeBron, let's go back to him again. He's trying to recruit Kevin Love to create the next big 3, and I just don't think that should happen for the NBA. The NBA should just stop it, because I think right now what the NBA have gotten for themselves is more spread out talent than when the big 3 was here. When the big 3 disbanded, well, just today, I think the rosters are looking so much better and more balanced, and that's what the NBA used to be all about. I mean, think about it, all those all-stars and superstars were all on different teams and leading their teams. Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson. Yes, I'm flashing back to the early 2000s and Shaq in 2005 when he led Dwyane Wade to the title. And the Chicago Bulls, speaking of Dwyane Wade, they're trying to get him as well if they can't get Melo, but I think Melo is obviously the better option. They've already pitched to Carmelo Anthony. Dwyane Wade, I do not think they have gotten something done with him. And also Pau Gasol, he could be an option for the Bulls. Just stack that bench squad, and Pau Gasol is definitely a great addition. Now I think he's underrated because of so many years of him getting overrated, but now I think Pau Gasol can really revitalize his career, get another championship, and that would be good for him. I would be happy for Pau to be a Bull and win a championship with him and Melo. Oh, and by the way, if Melo went to the Bulls, then that would definitely sweeten up Pau, and he would want to go there. Now to the Lakers. Back to the Lakers. Swaggy P with a 4-year, $21.5 million deal. And I think that's just a wonderful deal for Mitch Kupchak. Well, of course, I'm a Laker fan. I'm going to think that's wonderful. Well, I'm not going to think the next deal that I'm talking about is wonderful, but Swaggy P for only $5 million per season is definitely a hometown discount, which he said that he was going to take, and he did right here. I mean, he does get the multi-year deal that he wanted, and that's obviously not the best for the Lakers, seeing that they're going to try to get all those free agents next year, LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Love, and then even the following year with Kevin Durant. So Nick Young, I am loving that deal for him, but I'm not loving this deal. Jordan Hill with a 2-year, $9 million deal. He is back on the Lakers, and of course they need a big man. They still need one, another big man just to come off the bench, so Julius Randle doesn't have that big of a load in his rookie year. But Jordan Hill for two years and $18 million, I think they could have done way better than that, because that's $9 million per year, and you're kind of risking it right there, giving him all that money over 2 years instead of 1, which I would have liked a 1 year around 10 mil rather than 2 years for 18 mil. That's just kind of brutal for Jordan Hill, and I do not like that deal, but they needed a center. But if you think about it, they could have given Pau that money, and I think Pau would have contributed better than Jordan Hill, even though Pau isn't a true center. Could have played with Julius Randle, because Randle is hogging the paint right now and hogging the post, and Pau could play outside just like he did last year, and he racked up some decent stats actually for a squad led by Mike D'Antoni. Okay, so obviously the Lakers are not going to get Pau. A great steal of a deal. The Suns and Kings completed a sign and trade for Isaiah Thomas, 4 years, $27 million. That's just a masterful deal on the Suns' part as they get a 1-2 combo punch of the passer in Goran Dragic and the shooter in Isaiah Thomas, who can really drive even at his 5'9" size. Oh, and by the way, Pau Gasol turned down a 2-year, $10 million plus deal with the Lakers, and that's just garbage. I don't even know why they offered him that. That's kind of insulting, seeing that they give Jordan Hill that much money and to give Pau only half of it. Kent Bazemore has gone to the Atlanta Hawks for a 2-year, $4 million deal. So the Lakers will not retain him, even though he was an amazing part of their season last year in that second half. So that ends it. Hope you guys enjoyed this free agency roundup, and I will talk to you guys later about this. Lakers and LeBron James is returning home, and now the last domino to fall, Carmelo Anthony. I'll talk to you guys when he goes to the Bulls or Knicks. See you guys later. Pau Gasol is definitely a tradable asset for a team such as oh, down low. Good dish by Shumpert to Sancho Bob, and I am pumped. What a bounce pass.